welcome everyone to another exciting episode of Solar Powered Bodies, Voices of Wellness, where we explore the paths to achieving holistic well being and empowering lives. I'm your host, the triple board certified Dr. T. Mando Denson L., and I am thrilled to have you with us today. Our podcast is dedicated to bringing you insightful conversations with experts, thought leaders, and inspiring individuals who are making a difference in the world of holistic wellness. From mental health and physical fitness to spiritual growth and personal development, we cover it all to help you thrive in every aspect of your life. Get ready for an enlightening conversation as we dive into coaching techniques and the transformative power of the work that we do. So sit back, relax, and get started. Let's get started on this exciting episode of Solar Power Bodies, Voices of Wellness. Today we have another exciting, high-powered guest, Miss Gina Anayana, founder of United We Go and the Goddess Intention. Gina Anayana is a visionary leader, an entrepreneur, and an intuitive healer dedicated to diversity, inclusion, and empowerment. As founder of United We Go and Goddess Intention, she blends business, art, and spirituality to inspire transformation. She's a podcaster, a TV co-host, and a fashion model. Gina uplifts communities through storytelling, healing, and advocacy. Welcome, Gina. Welcome to Solar Power Voices of Wellness. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having me. It's exciting. I'm very excited to dive in with you today.
This is amazing. I was hanging out with you backstage here for a few minutes, and you just shocked me. She's really from my home state. She's the first person from the home state. That's nice. Congratulations. Um, we were talking. Let's get started. I'm gonna let you please introduce the people to Gina Anayana.
Yeah, I mean, you already kind of give a very beautiful, introduction, to your audience. So I'm very excited to be here. Like you said, I'm the founder of I call it, this is called God's intention. So everything I created underneath that umbrella is from God's intention. So anything I create is God's intention. So, right. So I have my inner sensory healing is a healing practice that underneath my God's intention, LLC. And I have a podcast called Unity Through Diversity. This is a podcast to share personal story, to encourage and empower other people that you should be unique. You be you. That's the whole message of this podcast. But then in last 2 years, actually 2 years ago, I founded a nonprofit called United We Go. This is a nonprofit 501c3 here in Bay City, Michigan, that we bring the community together one event at a time. Now, those events are some art and culture related events, youth empowerment, and other community engagement activities that we have been having fun in the community, have the awareness like we're supposed to stick, the world is supposed to together. Doesn't matter my healing practice, my podcast, or nonprofits, they all have one message. Is we are supposed to be here to be connected with each other. This connectedness is that I personally want to express, and through the organization, through the healing practice, that you can connect with your heart. Because if you don't connect with your own heart, you're not gonna have compassion for other people's pain and suffering, right? So I'm gonna stop right here a little bit because this depends on where we want to go.
Hey, I'm ready. I was ready. United We Go. Is the 501c3 that was born from Goddess Intentions?
No, right? they are very different. They are not belong to each other. One is nonprofit, one is for profit. So the reason I do nonprofit is I realized that actually I started United We Go as a community event with my LLC because I was like, okay, I want to gather local healers, energy workers, wellness coaches together because 5 years ago, you think about 4 years ago, the community is still kind of a little bit not so sure about energy workers, things like that. And I'm like, okay, I started a private event called United We Go. But after that event, I realized that I got a local area chamber involved. I got a minority business partnership involved. And I'm like, this is more than a private event. This become a public free event. So I was like, okay, if I do charity work, public event to bring the awareness, to bring community together, it has to be a legal entity. Then I was okay, let's think about nonprofit. And by that time, I had no idea. I never been working for a nonprofit. I'm not from United States. Okay. So you are talking about a different, like legal entity that I had no experience, that know nothing about it. It's quite a learning journey. I still have to say in the last 2 years, this is our year 3, things getting a little bit easier, but wow, what a learning curve.
Right. They
Yes.
just jump right in and swim, right?
Yeah, I did.
That's the best way to learn though, on the go, right?
Yes.
Especially down here in this Michigan blue collared environment, right?
Yes. Yes.
How do you incorporate the spiritual practices of in your work as an intuitive healer to promote holistic health? How do you merge? Can you tell the people why that's holistic to you?
Yeah. So the funny thing is, not funny thing, I actually moved to Bay City 4 years ago. And before that, I was in Saginaw for 11 years.
Okay.
When I moved here, nobody know me. Nobody know who's this Asian lady, where she's come from, you know. So I drop in as a intuitive healer. I drop into community as a healer, as this Asian lady. I do different healing modality for people's health, wellness, mental health. Basically, it's mental health and emotional health and spiritual health.
Okay.
But when you those area be healthy, your physical body must be also healthy because they are related, right? So I got in here. Actually, I was not so interesting in the business side because you do healing work. You are more focused on word of mouth. You are not there promoting yourself because what I do is not say, hey, go have a session with Gina. No, they really need to know who I am because they are sharing the deeper secret of their life. So
That's
I'm
right.
more doing my side. The reason is that there's one bright soul in a local chamber. She met me at one of the wellness event. And then she saw me. She's like, Gina, I want you to join local chamber. And I'm like,
Mm.
I was very respectful, say like gently, basically said no, I'm not interested. She did not stop. She pursued me for a couple months and told me, say, hey, actually we have a DAO, they give us a grant. So basically you join it in chamber. You don't have to pay for first year. And it's a great opportunity. You can connect people. I was like, you know what? Okay, I joined that. So like for your question, how I incorporate that is like universe. What I want to tell people is like sometimes I didn't really think about I have to. It's more of like universe guiding me into because I have my business background. So before I do healing work, actually I was in sales marketing for many years before I even come to the United States.
Okay.
So sales marketing communication is always very easy for me to communicate with people. But when I do healing work, I actually don't really do much of a advertising.
Yeah.
But with that opportunity, getting into the chamber, getting into local, understanding what's local community is what's going on is the local community. Actually, I realize that those business people, they need more of those mental health alternative, healing
Yes.
modality. More they work with for them even more than people we so-called hippie, those group of type of who's really seeking spiritual, this enlightenment. But I realized when I work with business oriented people, they actually very easy to pick up. And it's much easier actually for them logically when they understand it, they switch very quickly. And I'm like, okay, I just realized that I don't have to choose which side. I can do work with all different kinds of people to work and even with youth as well. I bring my sound healing and meditation to school to work with teacher, work with students. And I'm like, wow, what a beautiful door that opened. And I'm glad that this person didn't give up chasing me. So
That's
now I can
awesome.
be branch both sides, so it's kind of like,
Yeah.
long story short.
That is a great introduction to it. And that's very inspiring. And so originally you are from where?
China.
China.
Yes.
Whereabouts?
Actually, I'm born and raised very close to Shanghai, but before I came here, I was in Beijing for 7 years. So I also have you would say, the east part of China, but also north part of China. And my job that time as a salesperson, sales marketing, I travel quite a lot. So myself, it's also a mixture of different culture. Like, trust me, if you speak a local dialect with me, I can understand you. But my parents, my friends, they are like, Gina, you speak Mandarin. It's okay that we know that you are trying to use your local dialect, but you can speak, Mandarin. We'll be good.
Right. Okay. Because you pick up these dialects as you travel, right?
Oh yeah, yes.
Can
I'm
imagine
very
that.
Yes, yeah. So hopefully one
So
day,
that leads us
you
to
know,
diversity, right? What role
yeah.
does diversity and inclusion play in creating a holistic approach to wellness for the communities you serve?
Will you please say the question again? I'm
Okay.
sorry.
I said, what role does diversity and inclusion play in
Oh,
creating a holistic approach to wellness for the communities that you serve? Is
well,
that
yes. So diversity and inclusion, to me, my personal understanding is it doesn't have to be, how is because everybody, every person, we're talking about a micro diversity and a macro diversity. A lot of people are talking about your representation. Let's say I'm Asian, this African
yeah,
American, you're
definitely.
however. But when you really understand that this diversity inclusion is actually started within. If I don't see myself, if I still judge myself, if I still see this version of me different than that version of me, or not including myself in it, that actually creates a bigger problem. So with the healing practice is actually we start to connecting with your own heart to recognize your own strengths and weakness or strengths and the potential, right? So you start within when you accept yourself more, when you love yourself more, when you engage other people or universe will bring you scenarios allow you to see that you actually can love more and can include more. So
Mhm.
the whole thing is that's not like say how I incorporate or how that works is literally everything starts from within.
Okay, so you dispel the myths of the diversity inclusion from the outside or being accepted by someone else, right?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
that you self define, self heal, self recreate. If you got to be reborn, you self reborn,
Yeah.
you self elevate, you self. Okay, that is amazing perspective. I like that, right?
Thank
That's pretty much, I agree 100%.
you.
Can you share how Goddess Intention combines art and spirituality to inspire healing and
Yeah,
transformation?
so God's intention is when in 2020, I was like, I need well, let's back up a little bit. So in 2017, 18, and I went into a deep depression, actually, myself. So I was looking or seeking that moment is like I want to see this light end of tunnel. And I went on my own healing journey. That's why everything starts with yourself. When you feel so much pain and suffering, you try to seeking external, it didn't work. So you need to go
That's right.
within. You need to literally rebirth, which means part of you need to die. So thank
That's right.
goodness that the my older version definitely stepped down, allow my new version of me come up. But through that journey, I went on healing journey, start to learn different healing modality. Now say what I did that time, I didn't know I would use this healing modality to work with other people. More of it works on me, and I'm like, instead I go for
Right.
session. I want to be trained so I can apply on myself. I know how to work with myself. So I went to 2 years of a healing journey, and then end of the day, I have all the tools in my tool belt, right? And people get interested because they can recognize that something changed about Gina. She's happy, but she has this happy is really from her heart. It's not externally people posting this and that. People can tell what the difference is. So they start questioning about things, and I'm like, okay. I started working with friends a little bit, but then I need to incorporate an LLC because to certain points you need to. And I meditated going also, what is this entity or what is because you can literally you are creating something. You thought you are creating something. Actually, this idea is choosing you to coming to the world in reality through this channel. So I'm like, okay, I meditate. I went into meditation. I was okay. This is my this intention, my intention, right? Want to provide this healing practice, healing service to the world. However, what is this name want to come through me? Now, we call God king or queen and goddess. And I'm like, yeah, in this life, I'm embody a female body. And I think that's a reminder actually to more incorporate it with feminine energy. I was okay, God is intention. Everything I bring through the world, through me, through this entity, is all through this feminine, not feminine as female, feminine energy, which is intuitive, which is the be more playful, more having fun. First, like do, go, chase things. You don't need to chase, you attract those things. So that's the goddess
Mhm.
intention come from. Now, in the sensory healing is different. Another one, I was okay. I know what kind of people I'm working with, but what is the name that really can bring people this activation? Because in the sensory healing is activation, you activate people's heart. So you see my logo has little fire in their heart. Is I really want to bring people to their own heart, connect with their own heart before they try to connect with other people. Again, back to but your own connection, your heart is the bridge from your top 3 chakra and lower 3 chakra. If your heart is not feeling safe to feel what is feeling in your childhood, which is in our sacral, to understand why you need to go through that for what, you're not going to have this integration. Healing is integration. The damage probably is already done. You do the healing right now is integrating why things happen for what and what lesson you're learning and what you can take on this pearl, right? Move on to the next level. And unity through diversity is another, literally this one probably is, I be very personal one. It's 2020 when Black Lives Matters, right, come up with when Asian hate started. And I'm like, okay, I'm Asian. My babies, they are mixed babies. So I was like, if the African American, they didn't feel voice and Asian hate started, my babies, they are definitely one of kind because they are the mixed baby, you know? So I'm like, what can I do if people don't give me voice? If people don't give my daughters voice, so what can I do? So unity through diversity is actually, again, is actually, I channel this name come through, is that through the personal story. I am the person, just like you are provide a platform. I invite guests to come. I give them platform to share your story. So unity through diversity births that. So ever those names, they have a, you know, the story of where they come from, and each of them, they work with each other. They are working with each other and still working with each other. And with you now, we go come in. Oh, everything just makes sense because before I have 2 wheels. I have my healing practice. I have my podcast. Now with nonprofit, those 3 triangle is born. I didn't know, I realized what I was doing, but now 2 years later, I realized that the nonprofit is truly meant to be born. Or you see the, how to say that, it's not triangle. When you have 4th dimension, is the another dot in the middle, right? You create this 4th dimension. I'm like, that's it. So far, I don't think I'm gonna create another entity unless one day I can create a foundation, you know, instead of nonprofit, I'm going to create a private foundation to fund whatever the program I feel like I called it to. But that probably, yeah.
Right. It's very inspirational, and you're filling me up right now. I needed some chakra tapping right now, right? I really need that, right? I'm sure they do too, right? It's every rainbow, every color of the rainbow. What
Yes.
advice would you give to someone who is new to exploring holistic wellness and your practice?
Yeah, I would definitely, there are a few things I would, you know, that's a great question. And then because a lot of time when people start those healing journey or looking for different healing modality, it's overwhelming because there's so many different healing modality out there, you know. And I wouldn't want to people to kind of like, that's why I don't do much of it, just advertising. It's not about what I tell you what I do. Is you will really need to feel this person's energy because I'm not supposed to work with everybody. Not everybody is gonna be open for what I do, but discernment is so important. We trust your intuition, and then the trust actually is the first thing. One of the biggest thing that I working with my client is trust. A lot of times they don't trust themselves, or they trust, but they are not putting the action in because they have fear. You know, so if for the people who's just open, I would want you to go check people's, you know, social media, listen to their voice a little bit because my voice carry a specific frequency. I work with people more. They say, I don't know what's going on, but I'm ready to pull these roots. I'm more of like, okay, if you want to have a spiritual like operation, I will go to that part to pull it. I'm not here to just rub things on the surface. Rubber, you're good. And you come back see me every week. No, I don't need you come to see me every week. I want you incorporate some skills. You can practice that and learning how to work with yourself. First, always go to ask for the healer. So first of all, the discernment. Second of all, have the trust and trust your intuition, definitely. And go listen, go connect with this person. Also have a 20 minutes. On the website, I used to offer 20 minutes free consultation. But after a while, you realize that, you know, like at this stage, I have a very easy. I have video of myself for each healing modality, and I walk people through very detailed things. So after this, people still can email me to ask me all questions before they book a session. But at the beginning, for last couple of years, I offer a 20 minutes consultation so they can get a hold of me, whether they like my energy, maybe they feel like, oh, okay, I like her, or they don't like me. It's fine. If people don't like me,
They
good,
like you. They
okay?
like you. They for sure
Yeah.
like it.
Thank you.
See, some things are just energy, right?
Yes,
You don't really get to, you either in it or you're not, right? You either
exactly.
affected, you in the sea of or you're not, right?
Yeah, yeah. I
Um,
wanted them to be mindful when before they sign contracts, they know what they signed for.
Correct, right there. Storytelling. You are big on storytelling, and you use storytelling as a means of, as a modality in and of itself. Can you tell me or tell the audience how that storytelling has benefited both your practice and your clients?
Oh yeah, storytelling. The story is everything. As human beings, we for whatever reason, like movies, right, books, a lot of story. You will be in this role, and I feel like that feels very resonated. Even myself, like come to the end. Always people always ask you, like if you are going interview, people ask, okay, tell me where you come from, why, like why, right? So with myself, I have a very unique story. Thank myself when I incarnated. I was like, at the beginning, I didn't really understand why I need to go through all the trauma, traumatic experience. But that's the story for the human beings. They love to when they read a story, when you watch a movie, when you watch a movie, you almost lost time. It's because you are super into this role, whoever it is. So storytelling can help people to understand a lot of things that otherwise logically you're probably not going to be understand. But when you put themselves into this role, they have more of a compassion, more of a like relate with people. So if I
Right.
share my personal stories, they know actually I'm a true human, that I have my own pain and suffering. Not say I'm done my work, I'm way not done with my work, but we are working with different level, different audience, right, different peer. So if we allow them to tell their own story, it's almost a therapeutic healing that okay, now I understand your story. People want to get heard and being
That's
understood.
right.
So with the story, it almost feels like, okay, help me understand your story. So I can see you, I can hear you, and I want to help me understand you. So storytelling is very powerful. Even with kids right now, I was like, what that's why they in the school. They want them to to practice writing the story. My daughter, 11 years old, she has her own Chromebook writing chapter 5.
Okay.
I was like, okay, when you're done, mom, you're gonna help you to publish it. I don't know whether you're
That's
ready or
right.
not, but that's an option. It's like she is started creating the roles. Maybe she's infusing some of our real life role into it. I was like, can you put me in your book as well? I was like, I don't mind. I don't need a big role. I just put mommy in your book. I want to be in your book.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Um, those are what we refer to in the behavioral mental health as evidence-based practices, right? These are the best evidence-based practices, and they take different forms and different modalities, and they're called different things, and they look different, but they are evidence-based practices. We share that in the recovery and addiction and recovery, AUD, SUD, dual diagnosis, and we share that story, especially when they say they can't, right? Um, when you come in as a healthcare professional, or if you wear a white jacket with a stethoscope, they don't want to tell you anything. So if you come in with that professionalism, that kind of stance, they don't want to tell you anything. They feel like you have to tell them. You're some form of authority. You're with the government,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So after hearing the toughest cases, and they say, well, you don't understand me, you guys are doctors, or you guys are this and we're that, and that's when I share my story. I say, oh, sit it down, you got the wrong idea here, right? And I share my history in the story, and by the time we're done, that the client is going to, we're moving forward, right? Because if I can do it, then they feel like, well, oh, you can do it, right?
Mhm.
And so that was important because storytelling is almost the one of the most essential vehicles in recovery and helping them to overcome where they are sharing. That's why you're a coach, because you've been there, or a mentor because you've been there. You can't be that without being there,
Oh
right?
yeah, exactly. Definitely.
Right.
That's why I
So I
appreciate
have
those
to be one of
experiences.
those. You're, if not, you're just not supposed to be here. You're a teacher. right? There are teachers. Teachers don't have to be there, but coaches and mentors, they have to be there. What advice would you? Okay, we're talking about we're in solar power. I often want to focus on the business aspect of it, but right at this moment, I want to focus on the health and wellness of it.
Yeah.
How does the business balance and but how do you balance the business and spirituality in a way that maintains alignment with your vision for holistic transformation?
How I with the business side and with the spiritual side,
Yeah.
how
How do
how
you
I incorporate
marry
them together?
those and still keep the heart out front
Yeah.
and the bank book in check?
Great question. Great question. Okay, there's so many healers out there. I was one of them. I still feeling that I'm not fully get out of that because the funny thing is, not funny thing. You probably know as well. Like a lot of spiritual community, they have a fear of charging the fees. And then
Yes.
you ask them why, they have so many wide answers, but one of the answers they thought when I do the spiritual work, you have to be pure. You pure, when you be pure, which means you're not supposed to attach it with this monetary dollar signs, right?
Yeah.
This is one of the first of the most of the myth, whatever, as the energy hero or people in the spiritual community is they literally attach their work need to be pure, which means no dollar sign attached. You have to be given. So they will they easily charge a price, but they will give you 2 times more. Now, the other side, as people who are on the receiving end, it's the funny thing. Human is really interesting. This is the psychology part of things you're talking about. At the beginning of my healing practice, I like to give people free 30 minutes of the healing session with me. Okay. And then what's going to happen? I just realized every time you give people free, they don't have value attached to it. So it doesn't matter. I work out as something that they haven't figured out for 30 years because I didn't charge it. When you're not charging that thing they don't see the value. So
That's correct.
on the both sides, I see the both sides of where is when you say free, or pure work, when you're not attached to the money, the dollar signs, actually things get more messy and not working even because well, if people give you a pad for 1,500 and you lost it because it's free, you're not gonna even feel that's lost anything, feel value about it. You're not gonna take care of it, right? So I'm like, okay. Now, the first of all, when I'm working with the healers, even with myself, is like you need to understand that money is energy. For you to attract this energy, to attract more of the energy, you have to also feel you are worthy, you are valued to be able to attract this so-called dollar sign. So there's a
Right.
lot of a misbelief with like money is evil, or I don't deserve whatever. That's in the data healing that I work deeply work with people. Even I need to work with myself is how I see money because I came from a family which is really poor. Like my parents didn't have much, and I have sister. I born in China, and under the one child policy. So that itself is a story to unpack. But I realized that yes, I did really see that you only like my parents. Okay, they're hard workers. So I've been taught ever since young is you only get paid when you're working so hard. So guess what? You will deplete yourself. You will over-serving people. You will take more clients and charge them less. Actually, it doesn't serve you. So as this question is a very, very beautiful question. And then I think I want to speak on both sides. The one side as the healer, as provider, is you got to figure out your own worth. Like whether you're worthy, whether you're good enough. Those are some belief system you will need to work on. Otherwise, you will always have this like, I want charge, but I don't know how to charge. Maybe I should charge less. Also, you have people pleasing, you work more than your body capacity can. Eventually you're gonna burn out. You're not serving anybody because you're not serving yourself. And people who come into you might not serving them. But on the other end, for the people who are there looking for healers, things like that, like you gotta see what is the value underneath these dollars. If you pay this person 150 for an hour, 15 minutes, if this person can tackle down 2 things you have been struggling for 30 years, how this thing's gonna value? I think probably if people really understand the value of those healing sessions, they probably I don't think this $150 serves justice. That's why lots of do healing work people we still charge less because the collective consciousness, they are now there to see the value, but we are, as you know, those conversation goes, as we are working people through, we really hope, in next couple of years, they really value us. We are not doctor, I'm not doctor, right? But the things that we are working with alternative healing, we really get to the core that hopefully people see the value. Instead of like, is this dollar, how much, what is the value behind the dollar signs? Yeah.
That's correct. Awesome. That was very fulfilling, right? The feel I ate. I feel like I consumed some energy there. You're inspired. That's great. And I'm sure the people that are sitting here listening to you, like I am, are receiving that too. Okay, you touched on the value and the dollar, the misconception that they undervalue you if you're not walking around in a white suit and a lab jacket or whatever. What are some of the misconceptions about holistic health like that? One or two more of those, and how do you address them with your audience?
The myth about there's so many. Okay, let's see what's common. The first one is they think we are witches. So witches, you know what I'm saying? When I talk holistic, your energy, you're like, oh my goodness, you can read my mind and everything. You're like doing some spell on me. You're like witches,
voodoo,
go to mental hospital.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think this is the first one is like people really need to have educated on what is energy, right? That's why I want people to go check my video before they book any session with me, is because everybody has this innate, this energetic tuner, like you can sense. You cannot describe why you trust this person, but once you talk to this person, you're like, Gina, okay, I get it. My body, I have the capitalized know that I can trust you, right? So you don't need to be psychic to be read people's energy. I tell people, I always demonstrate, because I go to speakers sometime a lot. I was like, okay, they'll tell you why you also psychic too. I was like, okay, if I super close to you right now, or if you don't know me, I close to you. You don't need to tell your body, say, hey, body, back up. Your body will back up for you.
That's correct.
So I was like, this is not something that you need to be a psychic to do that. Your body, we are so disconnected with our body sometimes. So like, a lot of times. So we are not witches. Even when I'm people or shaman, things like that, I tell people I cannot even qualify to be witch or shaman, because this lifetime, I didn't go through all the teaching, all the study to be even qualified to be a witch. You know what I'm saying? So we are not a witch. Okay. We are not crazy. The second myth, the top one came up is, people would think we are 24/7 open to read people's mind. There is a law of universe, is your own privacy. We don't do things I don't have consent. Even though we are have conversation right now, but if we are not a healing session, or when we like, my guys now, they knows that if we talk specific certain things, they kind of automatically they will ease in to come in to talk about specific things. So I start channeling from them, is because you are asking the question from my advice for certain health related. Basically, you are already giving me the consent to even talk about that, right? But normally when I go to the world, first of all, I'm not interested, because I'm a human. Need to live my human life, to enjoy my life. So I'm not a scanner when I go on the street. Just, oh, this person have relationship problems. This person cheated on somebody. This person This have a dead grandmothers here. No, it doesn't work that way, because you are working. You would only have consent. You go with it. If you don't have consent, it's actually not my business. Even tell people. Sometimes I don't see dead people come to me. Thank goodness. They only comes when my clients ask something, so that they will message comes through. So I don't have consent for them 24/7 even contact me. On the other side is like, hey, this is my resting time. I need to sleep. I need food. This is my time with my boyfriend. I'm not open for business. So we are not 24/7 go all there, get people or get information across to you. No. That's not. But those two are funny, It's funny.
I can imagine that, it's so it's the intuitive healing. Intuitive healing. It means something different to different practitioners, right? What does intuitive healing mean to you?
Yeah, so intuitive healing, okay, let's see. Well, everything is intuitive, but with myself or with people who call them intuitive healer is I don't have a fixed format when I work with people per se. I will use certain technique, but intuitively you gotta have some intuitive. Your psychic ability need to be online. Let's say when I connect with you or with people, my strongest psychic ability is clear sentence, which means my feeling. So they will poke my body, my ribs will hurt, my throat will be tight, whatever thing. So if you don't have this, if you did not open or you are not consciously grow your intuitive this ability, you might, you can use so testing, right? Let's say you go to certain way, you do certain testing, you according those testing to prescribe people is pretty much a very set format of how you diagnose people learning in a legal, in a professional way. But when people
Correct.
come to me, I don't have 100 questions to go through you based on your answer. I say, hey,
Mhm.
conclusion is this. No, I was okay. Do I have permission to connect with your energy? Let me tap into your energy field. So then when they say yes, of course, right? Otherwise, they're not going to see me. Then I started to, I don't even need people to tell me what's going on with them. Actually, I prefer people not telling me because my ego will not come in way. Because if I working with my boyfriend, of course, I dated him a couple years. I already know something. But if
Mhm.
for people, they come to me, I know nothing about them. Just name, okay, come here. We talk a little bit.
Mhm.
Then I go in. So I'm be able to, from my body telling me I will deliver the message to them. They will look at me like, how do you know that? I was like, yeah, this called intuitive healing is because I'm intuitively pick up the energy that you're emitting that without I even put any device on you. So the accuracy come back. They say, yeah, I had this before, and I know what I'm going through right now. This and that. I'm like, okay, this when you with working with intuitive healers, they don't have they might use certain technique to work with you. Let's say data healing. Let's say use Akashic records. Those are my tools. But it's like your doctor. You have so many different knife or whatever thing
Yes.
on the wall.
Yes.
When you know use what? This is
Let's talk Akashic records.
okay.
Let's talk Akashic records.
Yes.
That's my field there.
Yes.
Um, Akashically, describe for our audience what
What is
Akashic
Akashic
records
records?
mean to you.
So Akashic records, you can think of this is as when I say 12 dimension, don't too caught up on the dimension itself. This is a living library that recorded all the information, your soul journey from your soul origin to all the lifetime you went through. And Akashic records not only hold personal information, but also hold the universe, galaxy, every country information, past, present, and also potential future timeline. But you got to know that one of the versions that we are have conversation today on Monday, right? But we supposed to have probably conversation maybe 2 weeks later. See, that's one, but there is a version of us are talking. We're talking in 2 weeks. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
correct.
So that's why this library will record all the potentiality that could happen but did not happen because we didn't choose that timeline. So when we talk of future timeline with the clients, I'm usually ask them like, okay, tell me where you see yourself, and let's see how can I connect those timelines, those dots. But however, if one day you choose different dot, it will totally different outcome. So we don't really hand on too much on the future. But a lot of people come to have Akashic reading is they want to understand in the past why they are behave right here, feeling this, have certain challenges and hurdles in their life, but they don't understand because there's a lot in your path with your different version of you or with your ancestor or with on your soul journey why you pick certain things. So we will have it's kind of library. You go to check, you put in Google. So it's also Google. But you need to ask the right questions because Google, if you ask or ChatGPT, they will give you all kinds of answers. Same thing. So as a reader, when people ask them a question, so we are the connection between the record and whoever's asked questions. So sometimes we will need to clarify. They're like, okay, Gina, what was they really asking here? So clarify with the people their questions, so we will give you the answer. So I'm just reading the book basically. So it's a
Okay.
different form of channeling. So I do conscious channel, I do trance channel. So they are very different modality or technique. But I got to experience all of that because sometimes especially when I like those things. Before you ask me question or before I come in here talk to you, I call in whoever's ready to speak through me. So it's not just me talking. It's not from Gina. It's the what are ready for Gina to bring through. That makes sense, you know. So I hopefully answer that question a little bit. But if you have more questions about Akashic records, we can tap into that
You
too.
did well. I loved it. I loved it. Akashic records. I often see we talk about the universal record, right? And
Yes.
I try to describe it as a actual record. Imagine a record, right? That you have a needle on a record and you playing an old vinyl
That's an
record,
interesting way. Okay, when I say
right?
record, we are more talking about libraries. So it's like a record. You go to old library, you know.
Right,
So the
right.
librarian, they will, let's say I go to library, I tell them the front desk, they grab it. So usually if I go open my own records, then the librarians, we call record keeper, they will go to grab the book for me. But if I read a
Or
record
grab
for
that
you,
particular vinyl,
yeah, oh, your
right?
vinyl, yeah, you can imagine
The
that too,
vinyl.
actually.
And then the needle and the grooves, so that the grooves are actually the memories and the embedded imprints in universal presence, not really time, but presence, right? No yesterday, no today, not tomorrow, but I understand what they mean, and so we have to govern it that way.
Mhm.
But when there is no time and there is just it is. There's no yesterday's tomorrow. There is only now. My future self right now is creating and working with me hand in
Yes,
hand to so that I today do not experience and or so that he may experience correcting through his own DNA, which is me right now. And
yes,
the me now is correcting the DNA from ages before, right?
yes.
And my future self is thanking me for helping the past me, right? And it's all at the same time. So
Yes,
we are actually here, there, and everywhere, then down at once.
yeah,
The everything is oneness, right? And everything else is an illusion or a perspective, right?
yes. You
But
summarized very
when
good.
tapping into that, like you said, when tapping into that, I am not limited to the experience because I am free to live all of those experiences that I choose, right?
Yes.
And so, and thinking of it through the conscious, I'm like, oh man, I chose to chip my tooth. I chose to, twist my ankle. I chose to play football as opposed to going to engineering, right? Or vice versa. Because I played football well, but now I'm hurt pretty bad, right? I wouldn't trade a thing, but and then so I get it, and I think when I refer to Akashic, the records, as a healing platform as where to go find your healing. I said, we're correcting the disease. We can remove anything you weren't born with. And then I can go back in your DNA and correct what your grandmother did to the
Yeah.
family or
Yes.
your
Thanks for saying
grandfather
that.
did to the
Yes.
family.
Yes.
Okay, and this is when we talk about, that's why I asked about the intuitive healing. I was hoping you'd get to the Akashic part of it. There's nothing more or holistic than that, right? Um, can you describe a particular transformative? I know we get into it. We coming up on the end. I'm supposed to be doing a 5-minute blitz, so I'm going to do a 5-minute blitz really quickly. What practices or rituals do you personally follow to maintain your own holistic health and well-being, especially with such a
Yeah.
background?
Yeah. I actually every morning I like meditated, has to be. And journaling is the simple things that help you connect with deeply grounded. Because you believe or not, some people they born naturally.
How long do you have to meditate for it to be effective, and how long do you need to journal to be effective?
Nowadays, like at first, okay, when I just started, I every day I meditate a couple times. Because it's not a be part of your how to say that, part of your like routine yet. So
Habit, routine, yeah.
beginning for people like I would not recommend people, hey, sit there to meditate an hour. No, 5 minutes counts. 5 minutes counts. It's your awareness that you need to ground or connect. It's called a self-conscious choice, self-awareness, right? So morning time,
Yes.
sometimes meditating doesn't need to be, oh, perfect, sit up, close your eyes, things like that. That's could be. But sometimes I wake up, especially just you wake up, just called as you still in this date or theta brainwave, which is you allow you to access subconsciously. That's why you can remember a dream, right? But later, 5 minutes later, you make coffee, go to the bathroom, you're like, what did I dream last night? You forgot everything. So morning time, that waking up time is perfect time to program yourself to start your day. I don't know how you feel about it. Actually, every day I feel like we are just living day by day because you go to sleep, literally just your a lot of things resting or memory being stored. You wake up, you sort you lived yesterday, but almost trippy is like I just have every day is my day. That you wake up, you interact with this computer system again, and then when you wake up, you turn off your computer. I do feel that so. How you see everyday morning time is so important. Doesn't matter. I'm laid down in the bed. I start to recap my dreams and ask myself, like last night, I had a dream, hug my dad. Hug my dad. My dad doesn't hug, okay? My dad doesn't say sorry or anything because he's just such traditional Chinese man. We hug and he told me, hey, certain things. And I was crying in my dream. I was like, Dad, thank you so much for this, last decades kind of really, taking care of me, even though I already left, I left China, not left China. I came here 15 years ago. And since I was 15, I was traveling all over the world, everywhere. But it's in the dream, you feel so real of that. So what I'm talking about is like morning time, I would like to recall my dream. Then I wake up. This is the place I sit. My cat is sitting right here. I will start journaling and meditate. So meditate, I just tap into my energy field a little bit to see what are certain things that my mind is so busy about it, and just be aware. Okay, Gina, you are pay attention to this, pay attention to this. Then ask myself, okay, how I want to live my day today. What are something on my calendar, and what are some meeting I need to go? Just give myself a easy walk through how my day gonna roll out, and I prayer, and then I just go for it, So that's a very simple one.
Blitz. How has let me see. Looking ahead, what is the ultimate vision for the future of your projects, and how do you hope to further the impact of lives with those projects?
Yeah, so I don't know what end the vision. I'm gonna speak into the existence that I vision there. United We Go, work with the God's intention. We will have couple acres or whatever acres of the land that are really designed. You see the mural behind me? That's different directions. So I will create this conscious community with different direction, with different things. Teach people how to grow their vegetables, how to cook their own food, how to connect with nature, how to working on themselves, how to serving the community, be fit for service, right? Being service. But started with yourself. So, but recently, this year, my vision is creating my team, with nonprofit, because as you grow so fast, a team is so important for you to create more impact, serving more people and integrated. So far, nonprofit is beautiful integrating with the podcast program. We teach kids how to do podcasting. So they train them how to storytelling, communication, structures, how to step into voice themselves, right? Voice. We talk about voice. Seriously, if you don't interview me, my voice, this part of message will not come through your platform. So teach the kids how to voice themselves is so important. So we are integrated very well, like with the Voice of Youth program with United We Go. Now, holistic healing part is the community. Sometimes you can tell, not the people is not ready, I try to apply grants, right? So you can tell they're kind of like, oh, I kind of know what you're doing, but we want to distribute those grants to survive needs, let's say backpack and food and shelter and all those things, right? So I see that. So I'm not gonna keep moving, keep pushing, keep providing, even with free kind of from good Goddess intention sponsor some events through
I never even asked you. My apologies. I never even asked you. How do they find you? How do they contact you?
Oh yeah, if you search my name, Gina Anayana, you will not miss me. I'm like probably everywhere because I run different social media from both nonprofit healing practice and podcasts. Or you can search, inner sensory healing. We are on the news as well. So if you search inner sensory healing or search Unite We Go, we are very out there, in the world these days. Okay. Both Facebook, Instagram, website, or search my name, you can find everything.
60 seconds. What advice? There are some women who are experiencing women of business and women, period, who experiencing self-doubt and imposter syndromes, what advice would you give to them on their path to entrepreneurship?
Um,
About success, just being successful in life, period.
Exactly. So with this scenario, I would suggest people to just like do little things to kind of gain the trust with yourself, because when you're doubting yourself, basically you are questioning yourself. So with that, you don't want to put a big project and say, oh, if I accomplish that, then I'm good. No, start with some small task to go with that. Let's say if you have 5 things you need to be done, you check after you check. It's affirmation. Your ego need to have the affirmation, say, hey, you did a good job. Start things very small. Do not try to say, hey, I need to produce this movie for within the next 3 months. No, you are gonna fail, and you're gonna feel even more doubting yourself. So start things very small and give yourself a pat to say, hey, I'm doing my best. That's it.
That's correct. Awesome. I love that. I often tell in my clients who experience weight loss or other, we're reversing other conditions in their life. They want to lose 14 to 30 pounds in 1 month. And that's our track, 14 to 30 pounds in 1 month with this program. However, I don't want them to look at 30 pounds, right? Like a client, she's 277 pounds and she feel like she should be 210 pounds. She wants to lose 6 pounds. So she runs from that because 67 pounds is a big number, right?
It's a person.
The program allows you to lose a quarter pound, a half a pound at a time.
Yes.
And if you lose a half a pound, or if you lose a quarter pound a day, just in this regimen here, you're going to lose, that's going to be 7 to 8 pounds.
Yep.
If you lose a half a pound, you're going to lose 14, 15 pounds in 1 month, right? Now, if you do something, just spin some canned goods in the air a few times and jog in place at home, you will increase those numbers. But just look forward to she say, my clients say, mainly women. The women clients, and I love you, sisters, this is why we're doing this. They say, I don't look at the scale. They don't like the scale, or they don't own a scale, or it's in the basement, or they put it at their mom's house and they weigh themselves at their mom's house because they don't want to face the scale. So my first instruction is go get the scale. That we're not even starting without the scale. And in your whole intake and assessment, we need your medical records. I need to see what your doctor thought about what you're going through. Yeah. And then start there. And let's get a person-centered plan together. It's your plan. We're not in this gym looking at what he's doing or that girl's doing some amazing things over there. I want you to walk a little bit. I want you to do some over and unders a little bit. We're just going to get the blood stimulated, get the cells to vibrating, dislodge some things, do some reflexology. And just that alone, you're going to begin to lose weight, right? You're not going to, as a woman, you're going to fast 12 to 14 hours a day if you can. As a man, it's going to be 16, 18 hours, 19 hours a day if you can. And with these things, you can lose weight without the terror of high impact and instituting some other healing modalities like yoga and those kind of things help you burn 150, 300 calories just breathing, right? Yes. And so they have to, you teach them, don't look at it that way. And let's change the mindset. We look at weight as something we have to do, not just an adjustment we have to make, right? Yes. I teach them as well, you'll lose weight if you read your food. If you read the labels before you buy that, you will lose weight. Just if you still want to eat it, you'll still eat it, but you'll do it with a conscious, right? And then if you read it and you begin to eat it, guess what? You can taste the fat content that they just told you was in here, right? They're like, oh, I can taste that, and eventually you'll skip that, right? You don't want to experience, your body doesn't want to experience it because you've taught it something. It knows now, and you can fight. So just little things that will go. And so I'm so glad that you sparked me there. So you're not kind of people, Doc, right? Yes, we're gonna have to do something about that because you really reaching out. Again, Gina Anayana on everything, right? Find Gina Anayana on Facebook,
Instagram,
LinkedIn.
YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn. You can find me too. I think yeah, that's good enough. You know.
Everywhere. Okay. Got it. One more thing before we go. And I have had an amazing time with you, Gina Anayana. I really have. I appreciate all the work that you do. You are clearly, undoubtedly a voice of wellness, a solar powered voice of wellness as well. Didn't y'all feel all that energy? She just energy, ooh, like a like a emanating sun, just fire, just da 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 da
What a
da da da.
Gemini. My
Just
son is in
feeling.
Gemini, so
Yeah, just being in your presence, you can receive sunshine. You'll go through sun synthesis just sitting here talking to me.
I
That's solar power.
love
Um,
it.
I thank you so much, and my people thank you. And I'm going to come on your show because I think it's the place I'm supposed to be. And I'm glad that she is here in Michigan, you guys. She is here in
Yeah.
Michigan. She mentioned Grand Rapids. She mentioned Kalamazoo. No, Grand Rapids. And
Bay,
what's the
Bay City, Bay City.
Bay City? Oh, I went to school up there. Well, I was at Big Rapids. I went to Ferris.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh
I went to
yeah,
Ferris.
Ferris. Yeah. I
A
almost went
couple
to
of days.
Ferris, but I went to SVSU. You
Oh
know.
yeah, you did right. You did right. I went to Ferris because I heard they was allowing us to walk on and try in the football team, and I did, and it worked, and so I went, and then I
Great.
transferred from there and came back down to U of M and went through my little spiel there. So thank you again. One last thing. There's some women out there who need to hear your last words of encouragement. Sprinkle some magic on them that they're going to, yes, I really like her. I'm going to contact her. I can do exactly what she said. I believe I can. Hit them with 60 seconds of magic.
Trust yourself. Start things small. You're not here. Okay, I'm gonna wrap up with this very classic one. Okay, very classic. How you see yourself is not you. How you see other people is not you. How you see how other people. Okay, let me go back there. How you see yourself is not you. How other people see you is not you. How you see other people is you. And then read this thing throughout this thing 3 times, and you realize that a lot of your self-doubt, how other people are going to see you, judge you, is actually not even you. Is how you see other people is a reflection of you, and how other
That's
people see you is a reflection of them. So for those of you doubting yourself, worry about other people's judgment, and people judge you, it shows who they are. But if you start judging other people, that shows who you are. And how you speak yourself is on the different degree to show how secure, how much trust you have for yourself. So speak gently to yourself because words is a spell. You are casting spell every day. Speak positively. This affirmation is not just for people say, oh, you need to speak nice. It's really from your heart. Even you will speak less, but speak consciously to yourself. You are beautiful. You are special. You are unique, and I love you.
Gina Anayana. United we go. Goddess intention.
Yes.
Thank you again. Follow her on everything. We'll see you again.
Thank
Till the
you.
next time, this has been Solar Powered Voices of Wellness. See you soon.